Welcome back, class. So in the last video, we talked about arrays in PHP and how we could define them. So two ways to define them: how we can get their length with the count function, how we can access elements in the array, and now we're going to talk about a type of array that that you might not have seen before, but hopefully it should ring some bells when we compare it to something that we've done before in JavaScript. So the array that we're going to use is called the associative array. And so a couple ways you could define an associative array. Typically you'll define all the elements at once. And so let's use something like this. We have a person, and we can have a name, Michael, comma, age, 28, and occupation, senior manager. So we're using the same array function that we did before. However, we have this weird arrow syntax. So we got name, arrow, Michael, age, arrow 28, and we could do something else. So this is the way to define it. You could also do something like this: person, and then in brackets, name a property, something like I don't know, height. Cool. And so basically how this array works is that you have key value pairs, and if that doesn't ring bells, we'll get to it. So we'll have keys like name that points to values, age points to that, occupation points to that, and so we can access those values with bracket syntax, as you might expect. So we do name. Let's make a full sentence. Dot is space dot person age dot years old. Cool. So we'll run that for a second, but so hopefully this is ringing some bells here. Why is this mad? Oh, whoops, I messed this up. Should be bracket equals that. Sorry. Perfect. Okay. So that should have been not an arrow in the brackets, but an equals. So if we think back to JavaScript, that should be pretty similar, and you're thinking to an object. So we can have, a person with a name of Michael, an age of 28, a occupation of teacher. Mix it up. So very, very similar. We just use a different syntax to define and utilize these values. So no dot syntax. So if we think about person, we could do something like person.name. No such thing in PHP. We use bracket syntax to access the keys. So if we take this, we run it inside of Isaac Cloud. Let's echo a new line here. forget to use my semicolons. So echo new line. Oh, let me, that should be double quotes. New line. There we go. And then put a space at least. So you can see we've got the array, and we're echoing name, space is, space 28 years old. So we've defined an associative array. Oops. We define an associative array. We set a height property at the end, and we access those values via bracket syntax. So bracket with the name of the key here. All right, and that's what we got.